Okay, here we are with another short video. Yeah, okay. You're going to get sick of that. This basically is urbanization is what we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about urbanization, a few things within that. Again, if you want to reference your book, it's chapter 18, section 3. It'd be page 620, all right? What I want to talk about is the correlation between urbanization and industrialization. Urbanization is a direct result of industrialization. Well, what's industrialization? Well, take the word apart. Industry is in that word, right? So it's the rapid growth of industry. All right? So now let's take urbanization. What does urban mean? Well, we have to know what urban means. It means city. Okay? So obviously, urbanization is the rapid growth of cities. Okay? You need to get those quick concepts, and industrialization, rapid growth of industry; urbanization, rapid growth of cities. So why did the cities grow? The cities grew because of industry. Okay? We had factories sprouting up all over our country, mainly East Coast, mostly back in those days. But they needed workers, and people from foreign countries, immigrants, needed jobs. So they came here for that. Now the technologies in the cities, as you can see by this slide that you're looking at right now, there was mass transit. They had electric trolley cars, they had subways. That's so people could get around in cities easier. Because if you look at this picture, you see that people needed to get around. They had elevators. That was something new. Elevators so that they could build skyscrapers. You're not going to walk up taller buildings. What allowed this to happen? Something that we will also discuss being one of the most amazing processes that you could have was the Bessemer process. The Bessemer process was a process that made steel cheaper and faster. And we'll discuss that more, but that just made our country grow faster than any country could ever possibly imagine to grow, because of the rail lines that we could put in, the skyscrapers that we could build, the much more things, and the steel factories. They just pumped out steel, and that supplied an enormous amount of jobs. Central heating, plumbing, things like that. But we're going to talk a little bit about some problems of the cities, okay? Okay, so along with urbanization, obviously there were problems, okay? In these early years, there were a lot of problems. If you look up in the top right-hand corner, I think that's the way you're looking at it, you'll see that those are tenement houses, okay? What's a tenement house? Tenement house was a small, boxy, those that you're looking at up there, that was a street that tenements were on. They were small, boxy. There's a picture in your book of people living in a tenement house, and there might be as many as 10 people living in a room, maybe half the size of my classroom, okay? Maybe no running water, maybe no restroom facilities, just a little pot or something, I mean, and garbage and waste was thrown in the streets. As you can see, that was probably not even the worst of it that you're looking at in that top corner, okay? The thing I want you to understand, the difference between a tenement house and a settlement house. Jane Addams started the first settlement house, and if you look in the top left corner, that is a settlement house, okay? That did things, she started those houses to help people in poverty in cities, poor people in cities. That was where people could go. They had nurseries. They would, for mothers, working mothers, they could take their children there. They would have events. They would have sports and music for children. Just a safe place to go. Sometimes they put people up there for a while that couldn't afford or wanted to get out of tenement life. Were trying to make their families better. All right, so now we'll get into the problems of the cities. Well, the tenement houses themselves were a problem because of the garbage and everything. There was actually one place in Chicago, a slum area in Chicago, that 50%, that's half of all babies that were born into that area, died within 1 year because it was so terrible. Conditions were so terrible. All right, so what's some other problems? So how did they fix that problem? How did they fix the garbage in the streets and things like that? You get rats, you get disease, okay? So one of the ways we fixed that problem was with hospitals, clinics, okay? They developed more of those, and things like what Jane Addams did, Hull House, okay? There were different settlement houses that would happen. All right, crime, as you can see, crime. Murder rate jumped 25 to 100 million between 80 and 1900. That's insane, okay? How did we fix crime? Well, just simple thing like street lights, okay? Police departments. That's how we fix crime. Fires, these tenement houses, they were so disgusting, and so they were built like matchbox houses. A spark from anything, a cigarette, cigar, pipe, whatever, anything, just sent some of these places up in flames. Okay, well, we'll get later on talking about triangle shirtwaist fire and building codes and all that, but for right now, they just needed fire departments, okay? Not very often were they able to save these places, but they did establish fire departments and firemen. The disease and the pollution, again, how they fix it? Well, they had sanitation departments. So they started garbage men, basically, okay? So that's how they fixed those things in the cities. And again, cities had problems and they had to be fixed. And these were ways that they fixed them,